Have you been well?
I have been. I mean, yeah, I can't complain. Things have been going, I'm having more fun this cycle than I've had in the previous cycles because it's less serious. It's less serious.
It's excellent cycle, I think.
If you can adapt and if you can accept the current zeitgeist, then it's an excellent one. If you cannot adapt and you look at it denigratingly, then it's a bad one. It's probably the worst one of all previous cycles. Depends on the
I
lens
I
you're using.
I agree very much.
Who's that?
Huh?
Is that a kitty? Who is that?
It's Meow.
Is that Chairman Meow?
It's Meow. That's her name.
Oh, if I have a cat, I'm gonna name him or her Chairman Meow.
Mm,
Call him Meow Zedong.
mm,
Oh
mm.
my god, she lets you do anything to her.
But you
Wow.
can see she doesn't like it.
Oh, but she's tolerating it. She loves you.
Yeah, you can see her face. She's like, get the fuck out. Oh, now she doesn't, right? She wants. She likes the bed is warmer, right?
Mm,
Um, it's very very good word about the cycle. If you cannot adapt, right?
yeah.
Um, I'm older. I've been not that long as you, but I got more into in like 2020, right? I decided to stay in crypto. And I think people from the last cycle they must absolutely hate it because last cycle was so much about the technology selling. You know what I mean? We have a new layer, my friends. We have a new layer one blockchain for you that's gonna make you rich. It's faster, it's cheaper, and then you make a thread why it's better than Ethereum. And then they made money. And now the same people do the same thing, but it doesn't work. No one buying the technology anymore, right? There is the Ethereum, the world computer cells. And they hate this meta. And then there is a 12-year-old boy that came 8 months ago and he outperformed everyone. And he doesn't even know anything about blockchain, right? So I think it's really entertaining because you need to adapt to this. You need to adapt to that new demographic, right? And you need to adapt to pump.fun and simply accept that. Like, because you're not gonna do well if you're gonna say pump.fun destroyed crypto, meme coins destroyed crypto. I'm in it for the tech. It's actually horrible state of mind to be. And ironically, a lot of these new people, the pump funners and so on, are more native now crypto users than the this old guard, the technology guard, because these guys they use um, many phantom wallet every damn day. They do hundreds of blockchain transactions every day. So who is the better blockchain user? A shitcoin trader, right? Or the old guard that stake the tokens and claims them once a month to sell, right? Like who is the better blockchain user? I think the actually shitcoiner is better blockchain user. Like they track everything that's happened. They are very those people are often very native in using blockchain explorers to check what's the holder distribution and so on, right? So you need to adapt to this meta. Sorry.
Cheers.
Thank you. You have a tea. It's the evening,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get some of the herbal tea, right? The
Oh yeah, yeah. I make my own barley tea from that I took back from Japan. It's
oh, lovely.
delicious.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
barley tea.
Mm-hmm.
I like it sometimes in the restaurant when you want for drink barley
Mm-hmm.
tea.
Yeah.
So
I like the real nutty thing where
mm,
so I put like toasted rice in there with the
mm,
barley tea, so it has a real it's like a real nutty, really
yeah, yeah. I,
umami
I don't
flavor.
I don't even know what's this taste, but it's like very intriguing. Again maybe little nuttiness. Like I have there's little not hard to call it restaurant. The old lady has a food, and they serve barley tea with the food, and
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
just it just stick to me.
Yeah,
And
it's from Japan. The Japanese really like the like umami flavors.
mm, does it help you sleep?
No, no,
No,
no.
just like
It's just
yeah,
delicious. Yeah.
yeah. I agree. Back to Meta, and it's very interesting because a lot of those people, meme coins are called a scam and a fraud, right?
Yeah, if you
Um,
can't adapt, yeah.
if
If you
you
can't
can't adapt, you
if
will
you
call
can't
it
see it.
like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of the same people that launch a ghost blockchains. Like it's like what is the difference, right? Like what's the I'm
The
really
difference is in the former category, you can LARP as someone serious building a serious product,
yeah
but all of this is
yeah
unserious.
yeah. Can we give shout outs of names or cannot? It's offensive or
I mean, if you want to, sure.
yeah yeah. Um, I mean that's kind of a right like in the the LARP of the technology, right? There was example in Cosmos, and there was people who made a lot of money in 2022, a lot of money LARPing as the like some technologists, right, innovators, and they left with a lot of money. And I don't even think that people consider them fraudsters. Like they still like believe in that. I think, which is actually really, it's like this is the good thing about Cosmos. Perfect backholders. There is nothing better than Cosmos backholder because Cosmos, because it's like the stock traders that there is new trend, like ARK invest, and they invest in all the nonsense telling you
Mhm.
this is the future, like this is now is maybe trend on quantum computing, right? And you have these people, yeah, that's the future, and everyone will ignore the Jensen coming from Nvidia saying 30 years they will when Jensen come and says like, oh, quantum computing will be maybe like it's too early to say anything. We don't even know anything about it. Maybe 30 years, but the quantum computer stockholders, the fraud companies that don't produce anything, they be like, Jensen is scared, you know. And that's the same with like Cosmos, they launch a new layer one smart contract platform, competition is scared, they
Hmm.
they fighting to buy it cheaper. And it just keeps going. Yeah, they fight. But it's obvious, right? Like with meme coins, it's obvious there is nothing
Yeah.
behind, and
Hmm.
with the tech larpers, there is something. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. Like even I'm not the best at this meta. I think it's really entertaining. I still was very fortunate in this meta. There was a lot of very very good opportunities if you looked around.
Did you buy Fart Coin?
I didn't buy Fartcoin, so I
Hmm.
I I didn't have any winner like this.
Musk's
Uh,
razor, the most entertaining outcome is the most likely.
yeah, I lost a lot of money on a lot of meme coins, I would say,
Mm.
but you don't need many victories because, for example, I can give example from like 2 weeks ago. Pump Fund founder, the name is Alon, and he took over his coin some months ago, and I had like good supply of it, more than 0.5%. And 2 weeks ago, someone sent it from 1 million to 200 million. I slept, but I woke up, it still was substantially up. So like sometimes you had these big wins, right? And then you lose half of that on gambling more, but like every few months you have like you don't need to win much.
Mhm.
Many people always will say they look at Fartcoin and like, oh, I looked at Fartcoin at 1 million and I didn't buy it, right? It's always the same story. But there
Mhm.
is hundreds of coins like this and everyone goes like the difficult part is actually buying and holding it. That's really stressful. And like holding through the deeps and so on.
Oh yeah.
It it's not easy to hold. But everyone thinks it's easy when they didn't buy. My biggest win was hyper liquid airdrop.
Oh
There was
nice.
I never did better trade in crypto in all my crypto history than hyper liquid airdrop. Airdrop become my best trade, and I remember back few years people would say like there will never be as big airdrops anymore, right? Because it ended maybe bad for many. They will always come. Yeah, that was probably the easiest one, and I personally I didn't expect it will be that huge. If I
Mhm.
was, I would be purposely farming it.
Yeah.
I always thought people were just overestimating it, but it didn't. So it ended very profitable for me. So if you stay in crypto and you don't let your biases to win over you and you can adapt, you will do okay, right?
Mhm.
That's really more important. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if you are ETH maxi and you are not biased towards the ETH and let yourself explore other ecosystems, I don't know, trade on Hyperliquid, use Solana, likely you would have some wins. It's just like very important to stay in around. Many people get burned and they don't stay. And luck is surely a very important factor of it because the crypto is one big speculation. Yeah. So
It's just
that
the same like when ETH came around, the Bitcoin maxis dug their feet in and said, "Oh, ETH and the whole ICO ecosystem is invalid." As a result, you would miss out on some great opportunities.
the same is happening with Solana. I see
Mm.
some really sad ETH maxis.
They're demoralized.
It's a brainwash.
It's cope.
Yeah, and they really hate on Solana so much. They will see some bad stuff. They will see a lot of grift, and they're like, "Kill the chain, kill this chain forever." Dude, you could just deploy a shitcoin. You've been talking this for 1 year. Instead of saying kill the chain for 1 year, you could have gambled and win. Like that's and so that's always cope. And you never should show your weakness, because doing that, you're just showing your weaknesses. Of course, this type of tweets or so on, they will get a lot of popularity from other copers, right? It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, kill this chain is a grift. You need to appreciate all the things, even if you don't like them. You need to like understand, right? There is groups forming. Every time you have some bull market, you have a group forming. So you have, for example, now LA Vape Cabal. It's not sure if you heard of LA
No,
Vape Cabal.
no.
And as ridiculous as it is, you know I think it's really adorable. It's a part of crypto, that part of grift. So LA Vape Cabal, I tell you, is a group of people from LA, vapors perhaps.
Okay.
And there is Frank the God. Do you know Frank? He made the Gods
Mm.
NFT. It didn't do well. People
Hmm.
like lost money. So it's him. It's a Fred guy, very popular Twitter account that do the threads. It's like literally like 85 IQ crypto content. It's really important part of the markets, I
Hmm.
think. And there is other popular guy, face banks, and they have this group. They dress very well, and so on, and they do the live streams when they talk shit coins and so on.
Yeah.
And in large part, it's like, yeah, it's likely a grift and so on, but it doesn't matter. You gotta understand it. You might not like it, but you gotta understand and appreciate, because there is always, every cycle there is LA Vape Cabal, you know
Hmm.
um
Yeah. Last cycle we had Blue Kirby.
yeah. So there is always, and
Yeah.
and
Before.
and even before cycle, I remember I was briefly in 2017, right? I didn't have much money, so I wasn't participator of the market that much. But it was when the white paper era and launch of the Cardano and Tron and so on. And I remember there was this group on YouTube. They were tuning cars, garage guys, young boys like 20 years old. And once there was a crypto peak, they were standing with the board and explaining to people Cardano, Tron, and so on. They talked absolute nonsense, but it was so. Every cycle has its LA Vape Cabal. There
Yes.
is, you don't have to like it, but that's I think it's actually very adorable in some in some in some,
Yeah, it is what it is. And every cycle, as it gets bigger, celebrities are going to come in. So,
yeah, yeah. So,
the biggest meme coin of this cycle is Trump. I mean, he's a celebrity
oh
straight up.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
Did you do something with the Trump?
nah, sadly, I didn't.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just
very
I
sad I
just
missed out.
looked, and I was coping. I mean, it launched, and I saw, like, I woke up around the same time as they launched the. I was like, oh, he got hacked.
That's what I thought too. It looked like a scam. Yeah.
And I had some friends and they were buying like it started at 2 billion fully LTV, and I was like, nah, this is too risky. And I just saw going 10x, and then I tried to short it
Oh,
evening that day. I got
yeah.
little wrecked. I closed it, and then it should. But like many people like to say 4 years of crime now. But someone else told me that people saying that it's gonna backfire. So I think maybe I'm gonna stop saying 4 years of crime.
What do you mean by that? 4 years of crime?
People always would assume they're launching. People are always afraid to launch a meme coin because they are what people will think. what what if it's illegal and so on, right? And they always worried because they had no permission, because they're afraid that the law will strike at them. And here is just Trump, and it's like,
Here's the
ship it,
CA. Get Trump
just
meme.
ship it, just fucking ship it, and it's like,
Exactly.
oh, dude, we can actually launch our shitcoins, right?
Hmm.
But saying it's a crime, maybe we shouldn't say it's a crime, right? Maybe we shouldn't, because actually, like, that's gonna backfire at people. It is what it is. Maybe it never was a crime. Maybe it's okay to just launch a meme coin and let the market to take care of itself. People
Hmm.
long, people short, some people lose money, some people win money. And and then Melania probably came and said, I want it too.
Oh
I
yeah,
want my meme coin. I want my coin too.
or they the what is it, CIC company or CIC Capital or LLC or whatever that
Yeah,
company is
yeah,
that's behind the Trump coin. They said, hey, let's just go through
yeah.
every family member and see how much we can make.
Did you
Why
look?
not?
This company doesn't look good. There is some like really
Mhm.
shady people in that. Like but we'll see. Maybe oh no, like, so sorry. This one is there is the other company called World. Uh,
World Liberty Fi. That's a different one. That's
this
like
one is weird. Yeah, this
yeah,
one is weird. I mean,
yeah.
there is
No.
Trump members, but there is also some like weird people involved in that, right? I mean, weird. I'm saying like out of nowhere, the sellers, the marketers, strong brand Trump, right? It's like really good meme. It's essentially he was building a brand for tens of years
Decades. Yeah.
to launch the coin, you
Yeah,
know.
but effectively, yes. Right? He's been in the
uh,
public eye for ever since he was, I think, well, since his 20s. So he's
yeah,
been,
so it's a strong brand building. So
yeah.
that's a good lesson. And it's essentially better investment than his company, the stock, right? DJT.
That's kind of the lesson that I took away from it too, and it coincides with the current zeitgeist of the new aristocracy, which are the neats, right? Like the really high agentic neats that is well defined by the Milady founder Charlotte Fang.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
neats of the world are going to take the world, right? Like we're the new generation of aristocracy. If you're agentic and you have asymmetric information, and you build a personal brand around yourself, that personal brand is the only thing that cannot be taken from you. It's going to be paying you back dividends over years and years and years. And the pioneer of this business model is Trump, right?
yeah. Great. That's very good take. So someone also said now with you can have a laptop and create your own euro dollar market. That's
Yeah.
per because
Well,
you essentially you create something, you bond it with the dollar. That's your own euro dollar market. And it's
yes.
like it's and you become illegal transfer. Like that's a kind of
Yeah.
so it's I some people say it's dead of money as we see, right? But by this I don't mean collapse of US dollar, but really that's a new that like everyone can create money now. Because it's essentially it's all becoming bonded together, right? So either USDC, Solana, it's like it's all becoming merge, and the same with Bitcoin, right?
Mm-hmm.
On
Yeah.
Osmosis, you might create a pair that is Bitcoin Osmosis, and then Bitcoin is pegged to stable coin, which are pegged to US dollars. Osmosis becomes a euro dollar market. You can send it across, and right?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So I don't preach the death of US dollar, but that's really interesting. You can have a laptop at home and you can create your own money and become something like really big, like you create $1 billion businesses
Hmm.
overnight. 20-year-old kids do this, launching a pump.fund. And
I'm going to speak to the listener now. So, the euro dollar market, interestingly enough, is a subject that I talk about when I'm reading War Cycles, Peace Cycles. So, if you want to check out my channel, Chango and Chained on YouTube, I have a section of an audiobook reading exactly about this. So, what Don Cryptonium is talking about with the euro dollar market is really the debt-based central banking system that pegged its debt on the value of the US dollar, and thereby creating a euro dollar market.
you mentioned a book. Someone recommended me this one. Wait, there
Which
is
one is
one.
this? What is it called? Let me see that.
Private Money and Public Currencies.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
Synopsis?
what means synopsis?
Can you give me
I
a.
haven't read, so I don't
Oh,
even
okay.
know. It was just recommended, so I bought. I'm really bad with reading non-fiction because I usually read fiction, so I didn't read it.
Oh,
Someone
really?
told
I
me
have a
one
hard
of the
time reading
best.
fiction. I only read nonfiction.
I read fiction. Or I love reading fiction. I'm actually reading drama right now. I'm reading All My Sons. It's popular American drama. Um, but
Oh, I've
someone
never heard
told
of
me it
that.
might be the best book on money, and someone told me Ethan Bookman knows this book, and he very much like it.
Mm.
Ethan Bookman is very weird character, I would say. Many people don't like him. I have a problem with Ethan Bookman as well. I mean, problem. I don't really care, but one thing about Ethan, he probably understands. He's very interested in money. He always was interested. He likes speaking about money.
With his, yes, he absolutely is. I'm also extremely interested in money, and that's how I got into Bitcoin originally.
Yeah.
But his current obsession is about reinventing the global settlement layer for the world. But I don't think he recognizes or appreciates that Bitcoin has already solved that problem. Like, Bitcoin invented that. That's what Bitcoin's infrastructure is meant to do. And he's just creating like his own rendition of that in a
100
proof of stakes
100%
sense.
agree. I I think meme coins are just that too. Um, so like I think
Well,
like everything. So you don't need to really. Well, Bitcoin is the best settlement layer for sure. You can if you can build on top of that. But I think any other networks are good enough for like short term transactions. Actually, way better. Like essentially, if you think of that like big meme coin with fart coin, it has relatively deep liquidity. Okay, it's fluctuate a little too much.
it flatulates a little bit too much.
It's a little volatile.
Depending on what you ate that day.
Yeah. But imagine you did some service and it cost $100, right? And can you pay me? And I'm in Phantom and I'm doing, oh, can I do in fart coin? Right? And I'm sending you fart coin and you sell it immediately upon receiving. $100 will give like essentially no slippage and it will be a free transfer and you made $100 and it will be cheaper than PayPal, faster, and it will be all in self custody. It's
Mhm.
pretty powerful, to be honest. Like it's not the best for payments, but you can actually do it. For those who are unbanked, like Fartcoin is a better payment than I mean it's Solana chain overall, but it's better than like PayPal, right? You can do, of course you cannot do with completely illiquid shit coins, but if they have like few $1 million and you send there's just hundreds, it's pretty good payment, and Solana will be good settlement layer. So
Sure.
Ethan always just thinks too much while the things are under his nose. Because you mentioned Bitcoin, he thinks he's trying to reinvent that, not realizing the things are there or already. and it's
Hmm.
like some personal obsession of his, thinking like maybe trying to build a legacy because, but like it's too late.
Big question of the day: is Cosmos dead?
Um, People never die. People get recycled. It's actually it's
Good answer.
holding really well. I think Osmosis. I think Osmosis might have saved it. Which is um because Osmosis almost killed it. Like at first, that's also was mistake because you had a lot of layers launch without capital formation, which enabled extracting liquidity via osmosis. So there was empty blockchains with no product. Like that big extraction was ongoing from weaker chains to Cosmos and so on, and that was really tragic. But osmosis went in the way and tried to build deep Bitcoin liquidity, and a lot of Bitcoin transactions gets routed via osmosis. In fact, osmosis beyond Ethereum and layer twos, so when it comes to layer one blockchains, has the deepest Bitcoin liquidity. Osmosis has deeper Bitcoin liquidity than Solana by far. It's dangerous because it will be easy for Solana to build it, but there is solid volumes. So Cosmos, it's not that. It's in really difficult situation and it struggles to adapt to the changing meta. And it has too much of the word cells. I will show you something funny. Um, it shows how Cosmos didn't adapt. I don't want to, but and I have to be bullish on Cosmos. That will be my personal bias because I decided to build an application on
Hmm.
Cosmos, and so I have no choice that believe that it's gonna survive. But it's especially on Osmosis. I think Osmosis is finding its niche. I'm not sure if they're like it's really outcompeted by far by other competitors like Radium in terms of volume and fees generator. And I wish Osmosis, I wish Sunny and others would be more involved. He doesn't seem to be very involved, but like it's and there is even some bugs on Osmosis, by the way, that were never fixed and they are ignored. Let me find what I wanted. It's so funny. For many will not be funny, but I find it incredibly funny. I shouldn't dunk on other people. So for anyone think I mean by doing this, it's all love, and I'm really not trying. So this is some article of something about neutron, right? And this is one article on the Twitter, and it just goes and goes. You see, they keep writing these articles and like trying to explain. No one fucking read that.
Not anymore.
You miss
Exactly.
the meta. Like it's 3 years ago, and it's like
Hmm.
it's really so sad because not to dunk on the project, but guys, you need to fire this guy. You need to you pay into a word cell that writes article that nobody reads nor cares, and every time you drop such article, it's only like bad for you, right?
Hmm.
So it's like it's lack of being able to adapt. So we spoke about money, about we spoke about the transactions on the blockchain. I still believe that one of the best of utilities of blockchain is harnessing the fees.